quick shot of that stuff over here. This is the chemistry building. Back in the early days when I was a freshman, I had a few classes here. Not so much anymore. It's getting windy. I don't know if you can hear me over the wind now. Let's just go around the other side of the campus. Okay, right there, that's the back side of the mill building with the where the bookstore is and all that. And right there, you can see that. That's our broadcast antenna for the small radio station we have. I believe, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Either that or it's that, but I think that's a weather station or something. And this right here, I think it's the back. Yeah, it's the back of the petroleum building. They've been working on this building for a long time because in the spring and the fall, it's like an oven in there. And if they open all the windows, it is really hot in there. I remember taking my calculus class, which I was not doing very well in, and that was awful because I felt like I was being roasted alive. So over here, let me just get close to it. This is our football field and our baseball field, called the Coliseum. And this is where I filmed our past commencement, our graduation. And right over there, that's our big screen, our new big screen that they use in the games, and this is where all the people sat. And right down there is where all the students sat and received their diploma. And I was walking back and forth across that line of grass, just trying to get a good angle on the action. So, and right down over there, that's the Hyper. That's the athletic center. They got a big old basketball court and a Olympic-sized swimming pool and racquetball courts and all sorts of fun stuff. Over there's the library, and that's where they have the biggest classroom. It's actually an auditorium, and that's where students go to learn psychology, which was a very good class for me. I enjoyed it. I really liked my professor. It's too bad I can't take one of his courses again because it's not required. So I would really enjoy spending a little bit more time learning psychology, but it wasn't easy. And right here is the backside of the sub. So we made a big loop around the campus. And right in there is where they have the ore digger, or the digger den. It's like a big lounge, big TVs and stuff. They watch football games in there and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And mining and geology building. That's where I just parked next to it. We made a big loop around the campus, remember? So that building is where they have some classrooms, but there's registration in there, and business office, and that's the bulk of where the faculty works if they're not a professor. And that right there, that building, that great building just past the library, is the engineering lab, and that's where I studied database programming. A lot of computer labs in there, a lot of electronic labs in there. So, and then over there is the newest building, the environmental engineering building past there. And there's a couple of classrooms on the ground floor, but it's primarily a dorm. So, and that's actually where a lot of our Saudi Arabian students who live on campus stay. Because it's a nicer building and they can afford to stay in there. So just walk up here a little ways, get out of the way of this car. Up there we have the dean's house. It's hidden by trees. I'll get a little closer look at it. but that is where our esteemed dean, chancellor, I should say, I believe, Frank Gilmore has stayed for many, many years, and now our new chancellor, Donald Blackketter, will probably be moving into. So I've never been inside there. I don't think students are allowed in there, but it's a nice house. They sometimes have barbecues out on the lawn for certain students who have done well. Sadly, I have either not been invited, or I have not accepted the invitation, or maybe it's just seniors who are allowed to go in. I don't know. Don't really know. All I know is that I've seen people eating out here every once in a while. So, here's the main entrance. There's the statue. And there's our security guard. Yeah. Guy walks around with a limp. Poor guy. Over here is Prospector Hall. This is a dorm, and this was actually the dorm that I stayed in for my first year as a freshman. You're required, I believe, you're required to live on campus for at least one semester or 1 year, I forget. But it's closed down right now. No students are staying in there right now. But I lived on the ground floor, and despite having a double room all to myself, it is still pretty cramped. So, and expensive. They will actually have high school kids moving in here in a few weeks for Upward Bound, they call it. And it's where they bring in high school students from around the local area here in Butte, Whitehall, Anaconda, and they'll bring them here and they'll do summer school, but they'll earn college credit for it. So that's pretty neat. It's a pretty cool thing to do. And they'll have the kids, sometimes they have the kids do volunteer work, and they even pay them a little bit of money. I think they pay them like $15 a week, you know, just to come out here. So it's a good program. I see some of my friends from Whitehall, my younger friends. And then over here is the other dorm. Begins with a C. I can't. What's the name of it? This dorm is slightly newer. Prospector Hall is the oldest one, the first dorm, and then they built this other one down here, and don't exactly remember what it was called, but I did have one class down here. So back in my first year of college, first semester, I would walk out this door in the freezing cold, go down those slippery steps and into that building, and then an hour later I would come out and go back up to Prospector and then go back to bed until my next class. So, because it was an early class. So, that's basically Montana Tech. And doesn't take much time to walk around it, but it's a very, very nice looking college. They work really hard to make it look nice. Except the grass needs to be mowed. I don't know whose responsibility it was to do that, but they better get on it, because those dandelions are getting out of control. But a lot of nice fir trees and evergreen trees growing up around here, and it's just looks very rustic up on top of a hillside, sort of a mountain. Montana Tech is on one of the higher parts of Butte, so it sort of overlooks Butte, and it's very pretty. So that's it. I'm gonna walk back to my truck and go home and get some dinner, and so I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I know I certainly enjoyed showing you guys around my college and where I've been spending all my time for the past 2 years. So love you both. stay healthy, and talk to you later.